I call it Akasha channeling, but mostly is actually known as Akasha Records reading. Yeah. The word Akasha is a Sanskrit word for space, for outer space, for ether, which is the web, the nothingness that's holding everything together. Okay, that's Akasha. And record, as the word is record, they say basically in the space, in ether, everything is recorded and everything is all the time being recorded, right? And some refer this to a huge library of information, of recordings of the from the beginning until now, and even also future. Yeah. I usually don't refer it as library, but for me it's like my more like a database. I'm more like the modern person, you know. I see it more as a database, like huge internet database, okay, that's having all the information. And also reading, they refer it as reading also, but for me is again not really reading. It's more channeling work. And I will also explain shortly what is channeling work. Because reading is for me more like if you read cards, tarot reading, you know, you see the symbols and then you translate it to something. Or human design is, for example, reading. You see this the structure of someone and then you read it and you translate it for someone to understand what it is. But this is purely a channeling work, and channeling is telepathic communication, right? We all of us have experienced, and we actually on daily basis experience channeling communications. Telepathic communication. And this telepathic communication, if it's done um, with skill, consciously, that's channeling. Okay? In the telepathic communication, we thought as knowing we receive some information. And just the difference between a channeler and not channeler is that, you know, we're all receiving this information. The not channeler doesn't know which information is coming from which source. We are receiving information from very different sources on daily basis, but we usually think all of that is ourself, is our mind. But it's actually not true, you know. Some of the information we are receiving is from our heart, some is from most of it is from our ego, from our own mind, some of it is from divine, from our whoever is our source, you know, from angels. And a channeler can differentiate this, can exactly know, okay, from which source are this information coming exactly. And it's like you, when you tune the radio in different channels, a channeler can tune in and say, okay, I want to be now receiving information from this source. And the source that I am working with, I call them light workers from fifth density. They're known as Pleiadians. That's the source that I'm mainly channeling from. Not only, but mainly are the Pleiadians. But this is not the only source available. There are many different sources available. And in the channeling, or in the Akasha channeling work, it divides itself in two parts. One part is the clarity part, where usually people bring questions, all kinds of questions, and questions, they divide them into two types. One type are questions that are related more to our challenges, difficulties, health challenges, for example, relationship, work, material well-being, money, all kind of challenges. Okay, things that we would like to manifest, but we cannot manifest the way we wish to. Okay, and other type of questions are orientation type of questions like, what kind of work should I do actually? What's the right work for me? Or the work that I'm already doing, is this the right work for me? Or is this person the right partner for me? Is that city the right city for me to live in? Okay, to move to. These are all yeah, orientation type of work. And sometimes I have even businesses as my clients where we have just session for, you know, finding, orienting their business and looking, yeah, receiving answer from the divine. But only if the business is heart-centered business, not for every business. So, I mean, I'm not working with every business. So much to Akasha channeling. And then Akasha channelers, every channeler works with some other modality for healing and transformation. We're not allowed to call ourselves really healers, but yeah, some healing happen in the work. And the modality that I have received is working with soul contracts and soul entanglements. Okay, and it's a very interesting modality. I have received this directly from the light workers with whom I'm channeling. I've not learned it from some specific person. And I thought when I received that, I started working with this modality. I thought this is quite common. Many people they know. And I started researching and I work with quite several healers to see how they're doing. And every time I received the message, no, it's not correct. And then at some point I was curious and I asked, okay, because they told me every time, this is what you are having is very unique and you need to spread this message, you need to teach this. And at some point, not long ago, I asked this question. I said, okay, how many people really are doing this correctly? Working on soul contracts and soul entanglements. I will shortly tell you what they are. And the number they give me, it creates a little bit of pride within me, to be honest. I don't want, it's not my ego, but it is kind of make me proud and it makes it special for me. They said worldwide there are only 25 people that know correctly how to work on soul entanglements, soul contracts, to clear out basically the soul's blueprint, the soul path, you know. And I will explain what it is. So what I figure out is that, you know, that's not what I figure out. Many people have figured out this one, but I figure out with my work is that the soul is going through many incarnations. It's going through a long journey. And each incarnation is just like an episode of a serious movie, you know? They're just different episodes. And in each episode, soul goes through different experiences. And in each experience, there are a lot of dark experiences within each episode, each incarnation. And the soul keeps collecting and collecting and collecting contracts and entanglements. Contracts are like beliefs, okay, which soul has with himself. I give you an example. The belief can be, one of the very, very common one is, I'm not good enough. Or I'm not enough. Or there is not enough. There is not enough, I don't know, food. There is not enough money. There is not enough abundance, okay? These are like contracts that the soul has. And entanglements are between soul with another soul, which is also very common. So when the soul goes through some experience with some other soul, like let's say some dark experience as someone has abused someone else, and that person who was abused has experienced a very painful experience, a journey, right? Between these two people, there will be some entanglement, and the soul carries these entanglements and these contracts incarnation to incarnation until they are healed, until they are completely cleared out and dissolved, okay? And this is the work that I'm doing mostly in combination with my Akasha channeling. So the reason why I'm sharing this one right now with you, because a lot of questions that you may ask is very possible that it's going to be related to those contracts. So once I say, there's a contract, you know what it is. And in answering your questions, maybe it will be more even clear what it means exactly, those contracts, because it's more related to you, okay? Yeah, thank you. Thank you for listening. I hope it was understandable. I don't know. You know, sometimes when you're in something, you explain it, you think everyone understands very well. I'm not sure. I hope you do. If it's not understandable, if you want to ask more questions regarding that, you're very welcome.